Hello citizens and welcome back. In today's video I would like to talk about the changes to vehicles released in 3.17.3, how they relate to the Greycat STV, and how they might have solved the fundamental problem with the driving model. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like and a comment to the YouTube algorithm and don't forget to subscribe for more. And here's a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the channel and the armory. So first let's talk about the changes introduced in 3.17.3. They're actually fairly simple. Almost every ground vehicle had its max speed reduced, with only a few getting their speeds increased. And during CitizenCon, the Greycat STV was unveiled as the new utility and racing vehicle, and also a change to driving physics, but as far as I can remember, this was left out of the patch notes. Now, this is a very interesting change, because I don't think speed was the problem with ground vehicles. And I'm not sure what the purpose of this balance pass, especially considering the desired gameplay CIG have for most vehicles. Which is that you're supposed to land your ship far away from a location and then take your ground vehicle to the location to do your mission, which has some issues on its own, but that's a topic for another video. Some might think that the true reason for the nerf on all ground vehicles was to make the new STV stand out in terms of speed. But in my testing I found out that it really doesn't, so why? Well, it's possible that CIG were trying to address the main issues with vehicles, which is that most vehicles feel like you're driving on ice all the time. If I recall correctly, this issue was introduced with the release of the Tumbril Nova, because tracked vehicles required changes to the driving model and the issue was never properly addressed, until now. During the latest Inside Star Citizen, it was said that there was an update to wheel physics to address some of the issues. So I went out and tested a bunch of ground vehicles. How did that go? Well, we found some very interesting things, some of which don't really make any sense. First, we looked at small ground vehicles, STV, Cyclone, and the Rock. In terms of speed and maneuverability, the Rock was dominating all the other vehicles, which is the first thing that doesn't make any sense. My understanding is that it's a pretty heavy industrial vehicle, so I would expect it to be relatively slow but be able to tackle obstacles and rough terrain better than the other vehicles. But it seems to have retained its stability, so I imagine Rock owners will be pretty happy with these changes even if they don't make any sense. As far as I can tell, the Rock is the fastest vehicle out there at the moment. Possibly besides the Cyclone RC, which has the short duration boost. It is faster, better at driving over terrain and more maneuverable than the STV, which, as mentioned before, disproves my theory that the vehicle changes were made to make the STV stand out and increase sales. So did the speed changes and updates to the wheel physics make the vehicles more stable and the driving experience better? Actually yes. The Cyclone and the Ursa are now noticeably less unstable and slidey. However, the Ursa now feels very slow and sluggish. The larger vehicles like the Spartan and Ballista feel more or less the same as far as I can tell. In terms of speed adjustments with larger vehicles, we have another surprising result. The Tonk turned out to be the fastest heavy vehicle currently in game. However, it has the lowest acceleration, so over short distances the other vehicles will perform better. Also, it seems that it can't handle rough terrain very well, as it can't overcome even the slightest incline, which is a very odd combination of characteristics for a tank. In conclusion, the vehicle changes released in 3.17.3 are better than anticipated. The fixes to driving physics are not perfect, but a significant improvement over the last few months. On the other hand, the changes to vehicle speeds don't necessarily make sense, with some vehicles being too slow or too fast compared to expectations. However, as everything else, this is subject to further changes, and I actually expect some of these changes to happen with 3.17.4 or 3.18. With that being said, that's it for tonight. What do you think? Does the vehicle rebalance make sense? Did you pick up the STV? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.